Chapter 4, Community Service. You feel like a deer caught in the headlights as you lock eyes with your dad, and his gaze slips sideways and a warm, familiar body steps next to you. Morning, Professor Bartlett. I had no idea I'd be lucky enough to get 2 Bartletts in one day. Is that supposed to be flattering, young man? You bump Riley with your hip and lower your voice to a hushed whisper. Go away, Riley. You're only making things worse. But Riley just offers your dad a cheerful salute. He doesn't seem to notice the tense energy practically steaming out of your dad's ears. I never offer empty compliments, sir. You duck your head and slink towards a seat 3 rows back and off to one side, hoping to get away from before your dad has a stroke or worse. First Alpha House and now this. My senior year is getting off to a terrible start. You manage to get settled in your chair when that same warm, familiar body slides in the seat next to you. Well, this is a fun twist, isn't it? Riley, what the hell do you think you're doing? You can't sit next to me. My dad is already on the verge of losing it. Last I checked Lambda, this is a free country. Can you blame me for wanting the best seat in the house? He pulls out a pen and a notebook with an innocent air you don't trust for a second. You sink low in your seat as your dad clears his throat and begins his class. This somber, booming voice echoes off the walls. Alright, welcome to International Diplomacy. I'm taking over for Professor Campbell this semester. Oh man, Professor Bartlett is the biggest hard-ass on campus. I know, I failed his comparative governments class last year twice. Oh, I managed to avoid taking one of my dad's classes for 3 years. Why did the streak have to end now? We have a lot to cover this semester, so I hope everyone completed the assigned reading ahead of time. Wait, he expected us to do homework before the first class even starts? Damn, Lambda, I thought you were the uptight one. Will you leave me out of this? I didn't choose to have a professor for a father, you know. When you get all prim and proper like that, you look just like your dad during one of his epic political rants. You push down the feelings of your mounting frustration and focus on the front of the lecture hall. Not even Riley can talk through the entire lecture. We often think of compromise as a solution to existing problems. When 2 nations share a river, for example, or disagree over a boundary. In the reading, the author theorizes that compromise between 2 differing nations can be used as a preventative measure instead. Can anyone give me an example of how compromise can be used before tensions reach their head? I can give him an example of what else to do when tensions and heads are involved. Your dad glances over at you and Riley, his lips pulled down to a heavy frown. To cover for Riley's incessant talking, you shoot your hand up. 2 allying countries will often meet to discuss joint efforts against a common enemy before a major conflict takes place. In World War II, your voice falters as a soft tickling sensation starts to move over your knee. You try to recover. In World War II, it was that, is the nations of Poland and, Riley's finger skate higher up your knees, touch light and tickling. You try to snatch your leg away, but your dad is watching you very closely. I presume you're talking about the early Polish and Danish invasions? You snap your legs shut, lean over the desk, determined to show Riley that he has no power over you. Yes, many experts believe that if the nations had coordinated earlier, they might have put up a stronger resistance. So, that's how you want to play it, huh? Instead of easing up, Riley begins rubbing his fingers in slow circles above your knee, each swirl bringing him closer to the tight V of your clamped thighs. An interesting take, I agree. Can you think of any more recent examples? You bite your lower lip as Riley brushes the back of his hand against you. A flicker, like a flame, passes from his touch to your body. Yeah, Danielle, we're all waiting to hear what you have to say. Well, the hand, not currently stroking your thigh, shoots up. Actually, sir, I believe if compromise is going to be an effective tool, it should be used before casualties are on the table. Wait, that's what I was gonna say. I take this to mean you actually did the reading. Of course! International diplomacy is one of my ruling passions. He draws his hand out from underneath the desk, lightly scraping his nails against your thigh as he goes. I think you can guess what my other passions are, Lambda. In that case, Mr. Coin, why don't you tell us all what you think about Marxism versus constructivism in diplomacy? Dad's laying a trap for Riley. Riley's walking right into it. Dad won't let up until Riley makes a public fool of himself, which means this is the perfect chance for a little payback. Hypothetically, let's say there are two nations who want the same house. Why would a nation want a house? Oh, fine, let's say a land. A big, beautiful plot of land with a pool out back. Riley's careful not to look at you while he speaks, so you slide your hand over his knee. Okay, I'm listening. With careful deliberation, you begin tracing slow circles up his thigh. Even through his clothes, you can feel the powerful pulsing strength of him. Oh. After a short, surprised hiss, he manages to recover. Yes, one of these nations has a very prim, uptight leader, while the other prefers a more playful, laid-back approach. Prim? Even though you don't dare to look over at him, you can practically feel his mocking smirk. I'll jab him with a pencil, and I'll show you what uptight looks like. You grab your pencil, slide it under the table, waiting until he opens his mouth to speak, and you angle the pointy end, and... Is something wrong? He squirms as you lift the pencil away and replace the painful tip with a warm, soothing press of your finger. Nothing's the matter. In fact, if things keep going like this, things are going to be very good. Okay. So these two nations, are you suggesting the compromise as a way to avoid the war? Actually, I'm wondering what happens if one side's approach is better. Better? Of course, I think everyone knows that a more hands-off approach is going to win in the end. Authoritarian governments never last. Not everything can be won with a carefree frat boy attitude. Interesting. Am I incorrect in assuming you believe the more rigid leader should give up? Oh, hell no. I'm not giving up anything. Move your hand away, lean back in your seat, allowing your foot to slowly move up the inside of his leg. You skim over his calves, pressing between his knees, pressing his thigh open inch by inch before raising your hand to ask a question. What I want to know is how the laid-back nation plans to get anything done. If it's all good times and party games, how will the nation feed its people, defend its borders? As you ask your question, you let your toes graze the top of his thighs. With a satisfied smirk, he sinks into his chair. Easy. They'll just sit back and enjoy what they can get. You choke as Riley scores another neat hit. I'm not sure what this is the author meant when she wrote about the international relations. I am. If there's one thing I know, it's that when it comes to international relations, it's most important that both parties walk away satisfied. He slides his arm over the back of your chair and looks directly at you. Wouldn't you agree, Danielle? I think you have no idea how diplomacy works. You don't bother to hide your disgust as he attempts to defeat you with a double entendre. In the real world, decisions like this have actual consequences. It's not a game. He grins at you in a way that makes your blood boil in more ways than one. Anything is a game as long as you know how to play it right. He lets his fingers dangle over your shoulder, his light touch brushing your hair away from the nape of your neck. You know he's only toying with you, but you feel suddenly flushed between his warm, powerful thighs and the way his breathing picks up. You're starting to lose control. I'm not sure I'm still following your line of reasoning. Do these nations want to compromise, or is it all for show? Riley's expression turns smug as he slides his arm away and prepares to answer your dad's question. There's only one way for sure to beat Riley at his own game, and it's not by backing down now. Slide my hand under your shirt. You wait until Riley starts to speak before you pounce. I'm not sure about the uptight nation, but the laid-back one once cuts himself off with a sigh as you slide your hand under the bottom hem of his shirt to the bare skin of his stomach. The hard lines of his abs ripple under your touch as you slide your palm up the smooth, sinewy expanse. Is something wrong? No, nothing. He trails off, struck silent as you continue lightly toying with him. Only when you're sure he's unable to recover do you speak. Neither side wants to compromise, that's the problem. Land is only built for one nation, which means only one nation can win. You draw away, clasp your hands on top of the table, pleased to have reduced Riley to nothing but a bundle of nerves. And a hot, pounding lust that you feel echoing in your own blood. Very good, Daniel. True compromise is only possible when there are enough resources to go around. Your dad nods at the class, as though the conversation is going exactly the way he wants, then turns and starts writing on the whiteboard. I think this is a good time to segue into a main debate. Topic we'll be covering this semester. What constitutes a good compromise? Making sacrifices even when you don't want to? Convincing one side to change their mind? What do you think, Lambda? What does compromise look like to you? Personally, I'd say working hard to be fair and equitable. Compromise only works if you level the playing field first. Boring. Your dad smiles tightly at the classroom, though you could swear his stare is fixed on you and Riley. At term's end, you'll each participate in a 20-minute debate against a fellow classmate on the topic of compromise. I'll assign pairings later. Well, your dad can read the room and he knows what's going on, so as you gather up your things at the end of the class and get ready to head out, your dad checks you with one raised hand. Hold up, Daniel. I'd like you to walk me back to my office. Uh-oh, busted. You don't bother to hide your irritation as Riley slips out of the door, leaving you to wait as your dad slowly packs up his things. Is there something specific you wanted to talk about? Yes. Do you care to tell me why you were sitting next to Riley Coyne today? Riley's the one who sat next to me. I can't control where the other students choose to sit. No, but you can control how much you encourage a boy like that. As the two of you start heading down the hall towards your dad's office, he pauses to take a good, long look at your face. You look tired, Pumpkin. How do you expect to succeed this semester if those Omegas are throwing junk and OJs every night? Is that what you think they're doing? You know what I mean. I shudder to think of what kind of depraved parties Riley making you attend. I wonder if I should talk to Mr. Townsend on your behalf. Maybe if I get involved in your housing situation. Dad, please. Don't embarrass me like that. If you do that, I'll lose the respect of both Omegas and the Lambdas. I suppose that's true. By the way, it's the community service week for Greek Row. You should hear some of the ideas we've been brainstorming. As your dad starts to respond, a commotion from the quad rattles through the windows. You glance out to see what's going on, only to find... Gather round, one and all. If you want Omega Hunk to help you move into your new place, the sign-up sheet is right here. It's community service week, so we're all yours. Oh my god, can't they keep their shirts on for one day? Grab your dad by the elbow and steer him away from the window before he can see what's going on. The boring documentary screening Lambda had planned will be nothing compared to Omega's shirtless moving service. If I want to compete, I'm gonna need something devious and brilliant. Not everything has to be about muscle. What's wrong, Pumpkin? Nothing. I just have a lot of homework to do. I'll see you later, okay? Your dad presses a quick kiss to your forehead as you drop him off at his office door. Before it even shuts behind him, you have your phone in your hand. What's up, Daniel? Aren't you supposed to be in class right now? It's just got over. We have a serious problem that only our Lambda VP of Philanthropy can fix. You quickly sketch out the scene in the quad and the Omega plan to offer free shirtless moving services for all incoming students. We need to meet them on the battlefield, and we need to make sure we're equipped with all the armor and weapons we can get our hands on. On it, Madame President. I'll have the girls prepped and rallied in no time. Within a half an hour, you're waiting outside of an apartment building where shirtless Omegas haul furniture up and down the stairs. Oh wow, best community service ever. All in a day's work, babe. If the Lambas don't get here soon, we're gonna miss our chance. Just when you're starting to despair, you hear familiar voices all by the side of your girls dressed in frilly aprons and pulling feather dusters. Never fear, reinforcements are here. I wasn't sure if I could rock a maid's outfit, but I'm killing it. Luna, Dahlia, I knew I could count on you. This is perfect. Hauling junk up and down the stairs is one thing, but cleaning up the messes Omegas leave behind is next level strategy. Especially if we look this good while we're doing it. Luna hands you the extra apron and duster she brought for you, while Dahlia whips out a bag with a knowing wink. I brought a little something extra in case you want to give those Omegas a taste of their own medicine. There's a sexy maid, and then there's Ed, sexy maid. If you want to catch the eye of a certain aggravating Omega, this'll do the trick for sure. Made to win. And the other one is just made. Not like it makes a difference, but I digress. You quickly slip into the frilled skirt, tight-fitting bustier, and the head-made outfit. I had no idea lace and ruffles could look this good. I think this is less to do with the ruffles and more to do with the cleavage. Riley Coin is gonna eat his heart out. Only if I don't get to it first. With your buckets of cleaning supplies in hand and an extra bounce in your step, you lead the Lambdas up to the apartment building. Okay, crew, the apartment to be done and ready to roll. It's time to move on. His voice cuts off as soon as he notices you approach. His jaw visibly drops as his gaze rakes over you, taking in every curve and frill. Damn. You strike a playful pose and fan your feather duster over the heaving swells of your cleavage. I hear there's something very dirty going on over here. He recovers enough to cross his arms over his bare chest, a look of growing suspicion on his face. Care to explain yourself, Lambda? Riley. I'd like to introduce you to the maid in Heaven cleaning service. We've seen for ourselves what happens when Omegas get to work. And there are still pizza boxes floating in our pool to prove it. Without another word, you strut past Riley and the rest of Omegas into the apartments. Alright girls, fan out. We're not leaving until this entire building sparkles. You heard the president. Our community service officially starts now. As you reach for the cleaning supplies, you become aware of Riley leaning against the doorframe, his eyes watching your every move. You really think it's gonna be that easy to beat us? I don't know, Riley. You tell me. We have reach high and stretch dust a shelf, bend over and sweep some trash. You strain, you jut your chest out as far as it will go, your breasts surge up against the flimsy fabric of your outfit, the tops of your nipples almost visible as they strain against the neckline. Now that's just cruel. I sure hope my employer's happy with my work. I wouldn't want to be dismissed for being naughty. You sneak a peek at Riley over your shoulder. It's your own fault, you know. You started it with your stupid shirtless hunks. All I had to do was take your halfway decent idea and improve upon it. You step onto the porch with your brooms. As you start to sweep away the leaves and dirt, you notice that the balcony next door is crowded with an appreciative audience. When you're done over there, we've got some cleaning for you to do over here. I had a dream exactly like this once. You jut your hip, your skirt fluttering playfully around the tops of your bare thighs. I don't know, how well do you guys tip? I'll pay you everything I have if you promise to smile at me while like that again. Lol. Riley strides out on the porch with you, his bare chest gleaming in the sunlight. The Omegas will be happy to come help you move things around. Nah, we're good. We'd rather have the hot maids than the bunch of sweaty jocks. Ha ha ha, you shoot Riley's smug look. Oh, guess we know what kind of service our community really wants. As you finish up inside the apartment building, your girls approach with huge smiles and fistfuls of cash. One guy tipped me $20 if I promised to take a selfie of me cleaning his room and send it to his ex. Like I'd say no. And I got 50 for getting on my hands and knees to clean under a desk. Jesus Christ. That's no fair. I could totally do that. I only got $10 and it took me an hour to get that desk up there. Riley draws a deep breath as he takes stock of the situation. You can't decide whether he looks more amused or annoyed. Alright, Omegas. You've got another house to hit across campus. I'm sure we'll have better luck there. You heard him, girls. There's more work to be done. Omegas storm out. The Lambda's hot on their heels. You're so intent on keeping up with them that you don't notice the path you're taking until it's too late. Wait, this is right outside my dad's building, and it'll be getting done with office hours any minute. You gasp as you catch sight of your dad's bobbing head as he steps out into the daylight. I should duck and hide behind Riley. With a squeal, you dart behind Riley and your hands desperately gripping his waist as you try to shield yourself from your father's view. Whoa there, if you wanted a piece of this, all you had to do was ask. You give his belt loop a hard tug, the band of his jeans dips low around his hips, revealing even more of his flat, muscular stomach than usual. You have to hide me. If my dad sees, we're all screwed. Oh yeah? What's it worth to you, Lambda? It's for your own good. He'll never let you live it down. I don't mind. In case you didn't notice, toying with Bartlett's is kind of my thing. As soon as the coast is clear, you rejoin the rest of Lambdas. Riley winks at you as he leads the way to the house of the Theta Z. Why are we here? Isn't Theta Z like Omega's biggest rival? Glance up at the house, which buzzes with the male and female members of VCSU's only other gender-neutral frat. They had all kinds of problems with each other last year. Riley must be desperate if he's willing to sink low enough to help them out. Over here, guys, there's a bunch of broken furniture we need moved. Our house party last night got a little out of hand. The Theta president turns to you, flashes you a wolfish grin. It's obvious he likes what he sees. But the keg isn't kicked yet. If you ladies want a sample of what we have to offer. I never mix business and pleasure. You hold up your duster, back the Theta president playfully on the shoulder. Out of the corner of your eye, you notice Riley watching with an intent look. No beer for us. We're here to take good care of you. Well, in that case, I insist you put the cleaning supplies down. The rest of the Lambdas fan out, flirting with the Thetas, as Riley and the Omega start throwing broken piles of furniture into the dumpster. You should see what else I could do with a spray bottle and a few pieces of cloth. Damn, I wish we were the ones forced to share a house with you guys. That makes two of us. You don't even pretend to clean as the Omegas sweat and curse their way through the jaw. Riley looks more and more heated at the sight of you flirting with the Thetas. Poor baby. It serves him and the rest of the Omegas right. I bet I can rile him up even more. With a flash of brilliance, you move to the top step of the house, raise your voice loud enough for Riley to overhear. As head maid, it's my job to make sure the bedrooms are in tip-top shape. You flash Riley a coquettish pout. Your hips swaying back and forth as you play with the frills of your skirt. But there's still so much heavy furniture inside. If only I had a strapping young thing to help me out. Riley eyes you warily, but with a hunger that's impossible to ignore. It's better not to be another one of your tricks. You and Riley add up to one of the bedrooms. The room empty except for a dresser and a bed pressed up against one of the walls. Alright, Danielle. You got me where you want me, now what? Now, I need you to help me move this bed. You stick your lower lip out in a pout as you run your fingers lightly over the mattress. It's so heavy, and you're so strong. I know this is a trap, but I've never been able to resist a tempting piece of bait. He cracks his knuckle, squats down, lifts the end of the bed, and with an arched brow, he glances over his shoulder at you. You gonna help, or are you just gonna here to enjoy the view? Enjoy the view. You move next to him and reach down to lift the bed. It's much heavier than you expect, and you start to go down. He springs into action, his body suddenly behind yours, bracing himself against your back. He wraps his arms around you and lifts the bed. His breath curls down the back of your neck, his heart pounding as he holds the bed up long enough for you to slip to safety. Careful, Danielle, you don't want to get splinters on those magnificent legs of yours. Your knees feel weak as you step away from him. You aren't sure, but you think he looks as flustered as you feel. It's nice of you to help the Thetas out when you hate them so much. Yeah, well, contrary to popular belief, I'm a pretty nice guy. He grins at you, a look of mischief sparking his eyes. Besides, you of all people should know how willing I am to get in bed with the enemy. You bite down a retort and start to work on the room, surprised when Riley grabs a broom and starts sweeping alongside you. So you do know how to use a dustpan. I know a lot more than you like to give me credit for, including the fact that the sooner we get done in here, the sooner we can count up on our earnings. Working together, it only takes a few minutes to get the bedroom in shape. You both stand back, survey the results with satisfaction. Look at that, Lambda. We make a pretty good team. Very true, but only when you're obedient and follow my orders like a good boy. He casts you a sidelong look, his gaze flicking down your straining cleavage before moving back up to your face. In an outfit like that, I'm pretty sure you could get me to do anything. What I want is you to acknowledge defeat. You turn towards him and begin playing with the neckline of your maid costume as your fingers riffle over the lace. You gently tug the fabric lower. What do you say, Coin? Are you prepared to concede all? He swallows heavily, his long lashes fluttering as he watches your every movement. You're not playing fair, Danielle. You lean in close, allowing him a deep, unshielded view down your top. Even though no part of you touches him, you can feel your nips tightening under the intensity of his gaze. You don't always have to win to have fun. Just then you hear Luna calling you from the living room, and you break Riley's heated gaze to rejoin your lambdas. Danielle, you won't believe how much money we've made so far. If you've made half as much as us, then you're sitting pretty. This was a genius idea. You and the Omegas quickly tally up your respective earnings, only to find the Lambdas blew the Omegas out of the water. Yeah, that's what happens when you dress like that. Take that, Riley. We've earned 3 times as much money as you. Yeah, but only because you stole our idea. Is it really stealing? All you did was take off your shirt. We might as well call it quits for the day. No, there's no way we can compete with those tiny skirts. You literally have your shirts off. You and the Lambdas finish a few more cleaning jobs before you pack everything up and head home for the evening. Phew, I'm exhausted. But that was a lot more fun than I expected it to be. It helps that 6 different guys slipped me their phone numbers. Don't forget all the calories we burned. I need a hot shower, my pajamas, and Chinese takeout in that order. As you approach Alpha House, you can hear the sounds of activity filling the air. Your heart skips a beat as you round the corner to find... What are all these decorations for? It's our annual homecoming blowout party. And there's no need to worry, Omega's gonna take care of everything. God help us. Alright, without further ado, thanks for watching. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. Head in the description. Plenty of things to check out, ways to support and whatnot. Sorry about being late on this chapter. Pretty much I wasn't reading at all most of the chapters for the last week or so, because I just was in a bad, I guess we'll go spot or space or whatever. Yeah, still kind of am, but I decided to give it a go and, just get you guys this content out there for you. So, other than that, let me know in the comment section below what you thought. Catch you all later. Peace out.